it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand in the way. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh! Graham Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Wednesday. I'm Brandon Beam hanging out with Devier Posey. We got our guy, Nate Dogg, a.k.a. Nate the Great, behind the glass. Depot, happy Wednesday to you, my friend. What's happening?
Man, how you doing, Beam? What a beautiful Wednesday we got here.
It's nice. It's nice and sultry outside. I was looking at the weather. Next week, it feels like we're going to be 95. So, you know, summer's here.
We've hit that stride.
Yeah. We're, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I feel like it was rain and then the 70s, and now it's summertime.
Yep. And it was like that weird time where you're trying to decide, should you wear, you know, pants or T-shirt or hoodie and shorts. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest.
What's your look? Are you more of a pants and a T-shirt guy, or are you a hoodie and shorts guy?
Okay. Can we go here?
You can mix and match and do whatever you want.
You're 30 plus, right?
Yeah, just turned 33.
Quarter zip gang.
Quarter zip. It's a strong look.
Gang with the shorts. You can't. It's like I'm looking for days for that. Mm-hmm. I'm searching for that opportunity.
Well, the nice thing about a quarter zip in shorts or quarter zip in a pant, you could do it anywhere from 50 degrees to 80 degrees. It's that nice, depending on the fabric of the quarter zip, because they got some that don't even feel like you're wearing anything. Super lightweight, protect you from the sun.
Well, I'm a little different because I feel like I would rather my upper body be hot than my legs be cold. And maybe that's just like a football thing for me.
I think that's the receiver.
You got to keep the wheels.
That's the receiver in you for sure.
You got to keep the wheels running. So it's like if it's a little too cold, I would go. You know, I would just go sweats.
Yeah.
I would go sweat. I would keep the legs warm.
That's fair.
T-shirts, yeah.
That's fair. Are you a big like a logo snob on a quarter zip? Like, do you? I know that you play a lot of golf around the area. Are you a big logo guy?
Honestly, I score real big in Meyer sometimes.
Oh, nice.
You might see some essential sweatpants with a Meyer quarter zip.
Yeah, this is a shirt from Walmart. This is a $5 Walmart shirt,
and that's a great shirt.
Thank you very much. It's just a plain black tee.
We're at that age where we walk in. I'll just take a stroll.
Seems like a pretty good deal.
I'll take it for $15.99.
Back in the days, I was on Nike.com, going into shoot stores looking for the newest pair of LeBrons. So now times have changed, and no, I don't get a lot of new shoes either. By the way, one of my buddies who I golf with looked at the golf shoes I was playing in the other day, and he said, "Why don't I send you a code for 50% off of Echo because you need some new shoes?" I'm like, "What do you mean? They work just fine." He's like, "You need some new golf shoes." So I said, "Thanks, buddy." Yeah, I appreciate that. We're got a great show lined up for you here this evening. Talking a little CJ Stroud with the Texans, all kinds of good stuff for Buckeyes in the NFL. We heard from Ross Bjork last week. Devier 75-minute press conference talking all kinds of different things. We'll hear from him throughout the program a little bit this evening. Coming up, our guest for this tonight, Spencer Holbrook, Lettermen. He's going to join us at 6:30, and then Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Huddle. He will join us at 7:30 as Ohio State finishing up their 7-on-7 camps. We get summer workouts that are going, and luckily for the coaches, the time of the year, I do believe next week they're able to get away and get some vacation time in. They probably haven't had much off time since January 20th, Devier, and we went through a pretty fast and furious spring ball with a bunch of different position changes and guys leaving through the draft. So much earned hard vacation time for those guys coming next week for sure.
Yeah, this is like definitely that point in your career where there isn't any off season when you play the longest season in college football history. And then you're right back into portal time, right back into recruiting, and then before you know it, it's like, oh, we're not even supposed to play spring ball anymore. You know, there's guys protesting against it. And then you have to kind of reconfigure your plan. And to me, I feel like as a head coach, that offseason plan is like the resume sealer. Seal the deal when you're meeting with an AD for a head coach. I've never been in one of those meetings, but in my mind, I feel like that's what sells it. So when you're asked to adjust that based on the new rules, I feel like you're wondering, can this affect game 7 or 8 by what I'm doing right now?
Well, and we heard Ryan Day going back before the season last year talking about how they were planning on it being a very long college football playoff run. And if you remember,
so last winter.
Yeah, last winter.
This is after the Cotton Bowl.
This would be after the Cotton Bowl. They were planning it, and him and Mickey Marotti got together, I'm sure with Mark Pantoni and everybody on staff. And we're talking about the plans on how to shorten the season. If you remember at the very beginning of the year, last year, we were talking about Ohio State being one of the slowest tempo teams in the country. on offense. Do you remember that? It seems like it was like 2 or 3 years ago that we were talking about it. That's how long it seems ago. But they were one of the slowest tempo teams, and that was because they were trying to conserve the amount of plays that they had through the entire season. So going back to your point on the ultimate resume builder, I feel like not a whole lot of things go unchecked and go uncovered when you're coaching at Ohio State at this level. Yeah, absolutely. Like, but can you kind of imagine? You have to come into this meeting with Ross, and you have to say, hey, like, this is what we're doing right now, and I'm selling to you that this is going to work. And so you enter an off season where you got to scratch all that up, rip all that up. It's changing. Times are changing.
And then you add an annex of another season where, hey, how do we manage this where we've played the longest season? How do we recoup our bodies with guys like Downs and Jeremiah? Who, you know, we're obviously on
last year was
count.
13 games. This year was 16.
Yeah. So saying all this to say, Hartline, Day, Keenan Bailey, Coach G, Coach Walton, you guys enjoy your vacation.
Yeah, totally, right? Just get away for a little bit. I don't know if they'll put their phone down at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can in this day and age, but as much as they possibly can, put your phone down, get away. Are you a lake guy or are you a beach guy? What's your ideal vacation destination for like the summer?
I'm definitely a beach guy.
Beach guy?
Yeah, just the ocean. It's captivating.
Like a Carolinas ocean, Florida ocean.
Yeah,
West Coast ocean. There's a lot of oceans around here. Well, not around here, but
the best ocean to swim in is the Atlantic or the Gulf. So I think it's for different reasons, right? Like you might need water for if you're on the Pacific side, you're getting in there. You're training for something, or you just you like cold water. So for me, I would probably go with Atlantic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I think it's just me getting older. I have a very hard time getting into salt water that's like below my waist if it's murky. I'm just something about it really freaks me out.
See, I'm like that with lake water.
Are you?
Yeah.
I jumped in. So we've been up in Michigan, northern Michigan for the last couple of weeks or so. Just got back this past weekend.
Nice.
So Lake
Which city?
It's about an hour south of Traverse City.
So where are we in Gaylord?
South
Holland?
of Gaylord, north of Holland.
There we are.
North of Holland.
I know Michigan maps for reasons that have to do with football.
Yeah, so like Arcadia, like Arcadia Bluffs, if you've heard of that golf course. So they're we're like 15 minutes away from that.
Okay.
Is where we're at. So we're on the west side, Lake Michigan, and I always task myself every year because we always go in the first couple of weeks of June. So Lake Michigan water, very cold.
Yeah.
I believe it was 50.5 degrees, and I always challenge myself to jump in full body submersion into Lake Michigan no matter what time of the year it was. I got that done. It was clear. I could see everything. There were no fish around. It was fine. But you throw me into even like 75 degree, 80 degree salt water.
How many
that's
times
murky? I can't do it.
So you've been going up to Michigan the last 3 years and jumping in Lake Michigan?
Yeah, last handful of years. Yeah.
Maybe. Go up there in how many years?
Handful of years. I mean, we've been married for 7, been dating for a long time. I think I've probably been going up there for 10 years.
Okay, so I'm just trying to are we at the point to where you stop jumping in Lake Michigan so we can beat Michigan?
I can do that, but I was doing that before. I was doing that during the streak too. But if you want me to,
you got to go up there and recant it.
If you're telling me that the problem with Ohio State right now against Michigan is me jumping into that lake, then I'll stop. I'll stop for all the Buckeye fans out there.
All right. Just until we win it.
Yeah, and then I can restart. But then, but you know this.
Okay.
I don't know if you're superstitious or not. You might be a little stitious, but I'm telling you that then I would not jump into Lake Michigan again because Ohio State would have beat Michigan.
Well, is it full submersion?
Yeah, full submersion. It's full submersion, head under the water, everything. It's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, your body stings afterwards. It's an ice bath.
You like that Traverse City water?
Traverse City, not too bad. Never jumped in the water up there, but we did make a little day trip up to Traverse City. It's a nice spot.
Yeah, it's a
nice spot. But yeah, hey, that was a long-winded way of saying enjoy your vacation next week, Buckeye coaches, because you deserve it. Ross Bjork is committed to improving all aspects of a Buckeye game day. That's next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
What is dippable and dunkable? And now at Donato's, it's Donato's new chicken dippers. Flavorful boneless chicken breast tenders served up with 7 amazing dipping sauce options, including new garlic parmesan and sweet chili. For a limited time, try new chicken dippers for just $5 on the $5 Pizza Pals menu. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny, windy, warm, and humid on this Wednesday with some scattered thunderstorms later on today. A 10 weather impact alert for your Wednesday evening with some strong thunderstorms possible. Overnight, thunderstorms taper off. Temperatures stay around 70 to start off your Thursday. We'll see the slight chance of a shower or storm through early afternoon. Otherwise, a partly sunny and a comfortable finish on Thursday with highs in the upper 70s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Are we drinking the scarlet and gray Kool-Aid? You bet we are. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hey, coming up at 6:30 this evening, Spencer Holbrook, Lettermen Row. He's going to join the program. We'll talk some Buckeyes with him. Before we get to some Ross Bjork sound, let me tell you about my friends at Awaken 180. When I dropped 70 pounds with them, I felt like finally finishing a massive home renovation. You know, job done, everything looking sharp. going topless, jumping into Lake Michigan, even though I might have to put a stop to that to get the Buckeyes to be able to beat them this year. It's like discovering an extra room in your house. You never knew it was even there. Awaken 180, it's not about meds or quick fixes. It's about learning exactly how to stock your fridge and your pantry. I update from yesterday. I had not gone to the grocery store in 2 days. I did that. A lot of salad, a lot of chicken in the fridge. So that's what we're having over the next couple of days. With all the right tools, I still eat plenty, feel satisfied, and now making healthy choices is second nature, like flipping the light switch on first try in the dark. My body's firing on all cylinders. I'm actually down 75 pounds now, total without medications or hunger tricks, just real education on eating smarter and feeling fantastic. Call Awaken 180 today or visit them online at awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, once you learn the blueprint, your only regret is not calling them sooner. 844-346-1800 is their phone number. Did you get a chance to listen to any of the Ross Bjork press conference? 75 minutes from the big dog last week. Did you get a chance to listen to any of that?
Yeah, we were. Well, I was here with AR, I think.
Okay,
and we got to knock it out. Yep.
Okay, because you were airing it live.
Yep. Yes,
it was. There was a lot in there.
Well, it was like you heard one layer, and then another thought came back, and you were like, "Well, that's a lot to think about, and that's pretty deep." You know, so it was very detailed.
Very detailed. And I feel like that's what, because Ross has been on the job for, a little less than a year. I think it was July 1st was his first day last year. And then he comes in. So he hasn't even been on the job 1 year. And just to recap that year, let's talk about what he has gone through during his time at Ohio State. Okay, so here was a big one. You lose to Michigan, and there was a lot of pressure on your head coach where you had to come out with a statement saying that we're sticking with our guy.
Well, there's some before that. You're replacing possibly the greatest AD of all time.
Yep, Gene Smith.
That's some pressure there.
You know that is what you're replacing. You're coming to Ohio State. This cloud surrounding him from Texas A&M was like, what the heck happened with that Jimbo Fisher contract, the buyout? Because nowadays, like that will bury you with the way that college athletics is going. So then you fast forward through the middle of the football season, and there's a lot of pressure on Ryan Day. A lot of pressure. Comes out with a statement after the Michigan game, we're sticking by our guy. Then you go on an incredible 4-game run, and you end up as a national champion. So you win a national championship in your first year in football. You turn around, this whole offseason has been filled with drama about college football playoff expansion. What is the future going to look like? NIL drama, the House versus NCAA settlement. And so, if you want to go from easiest thing you're ever going to do in your entire life to very difficult circumstances, I feel like Ross Bjork's first year was probably drinking out of a fire hose for most of it.
Yeah, and then even on top of that, you add the rule where you can add extra coaches in there too. So you have to figure out, that in terms of salary and what kind of roles you want to add. Are you adding hybrid NIL roles? Are you adding a guy that can be on the sideline so that coaches can have more time to do recruiting, right? Do you have somebody that can train guys? So we've seen some unique positions too, as far as coaches be added, as training positions like the D-line coaches they had. So, just navigating all of that. And for him to be able to kind of be here, I think we're ready to be ushered into this next era of college football. And I think that's the best part about covering Ohio State and being a Buckeye is we're leading, right? This is a great pilot testing ground, just the city of Columbus itself. So
literally it is. It is a pilot testing ground for mega brands and franchises and companies out there.
You think CFP don't know that?
They got it.
Yep. So I think he's been preparing for these conversations, and we've seen these things coming down the pipeline. So this press conference seemed as though this stuff was ready.
Yeah.
Because just even the point on the kids having to pay that back and this whole arbitration process and going through this whole case, he just breezed over that. That's going to be
that's a big talking point, Ross.
Think about if that rule was in place for the Iamaleava brothers right now, and just we would be talking about their case of how much they're paying back. It would just be intense in our world, and so. Yeah, this was pretty deep.
It was deep, and it was 75 minutes long. And to your point about maybe being on the cutting edge of things, they had just announced a couple of weeks ago the Department of Athletics and their Center for Sports Intelligence and Strategy and how that's going to be a very unique situation with Ohio State moving forward. And all 36 varsity sports are going to have access to that and all kinds of good stuff. But here is Ross Bjork, and I know this has been a big talking point among Buckeye fans about the game day atmosphere, the stadium atmosphere at Ohio State. And here was Ross just talking in general about those?
We are working on new video board, new LED ribbon boards. Can't happen for this year. Hopefully by fall of 26. So those things are all being sound system as well, a distributed sound system. There's always going to be continued improvements around the shoe, but game day atmosphere, I think, can just take a lift. And it's really about just adapting to the times. It's modernizing, it's cleaning a lot of things up. It's taking our script and kind of making some things shorter, layering, just different elements that I think I really, the plan is really, really strong. And I think our fans are going to gravitate towards it.
I mean, listen, I think Ross has done a really good job, and he's been vocal about that.
Yep.
Because Ohio State fans, as we know, we are a vocal bunch, and Ross Bjork has heard that. They are making it happen. When you have 105,000 capacity stadium over there, it's hard to make immediate changes to it. So maybe it might be a different atmosphere this year, but it does sound like there's some long-term solutions to that problem. And also, by the way, he came from Texas A&M. Before that was at Ole Miss. Kyle Field, one of the loudest, most daunting environments in college football. So if you want a person that's been around that and knows what it takes to turn the Horseshoe into a behemoth and what it is in the college football world, that guy's been there and he's done it.
Man, it's almost like for people in Ohio, you just ask yourself, do you look at Ohio State like, will we ever go to the Roman Coliseum and throw a concert? And that's how you feel as though we're talking about Ohio Stadium.
It's true, right?
It's true. I mean, it is one of the oldest stadiums in all of football history. And so in terms of the football world, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about going to the Roman Coliseum and throwing an LED concert. And to me, I want to see it happen.
Yeah, I do too. I think it would be pretty cool.
Oh, man. And I think that's where I would start personally. LED lights, I would synchronize chants. And when I go to the games, I remember we were driving Nebraska, and it was like a TV timeout. And then they roll I'm all for seeing Brutus dust somebody. I love seeing that Stroud Brutus. I love it.
Electrifying athlete.
But we could use that time to hype the crowd up for a third down stop.
Yeah.
Like that could be more, I understand marketing and big play, but that time could be served well to add to the momentum and add to the stadium experience and make it harder on the opposing team.
Well, and also know, too, that is such a – it can be weaponized, right?
Yes.
You've been in enough big game environments. You understand that. You've been in sticky situations on offense.
It's hard to communicate in between that time.
It's hard to communicate. It's hard to talk. And whether it's offense or defense or whatever it is, you can weaponize your crowd, and it does sound like they do have some plans for that.
So Texans play the Colts all the time.
Yeah.
Best trained crowd in the league. Peyton had them trained. So he would come to the line, and everybody's seeing Peyton put those arms down like he's dribbling 2 basketballs. And so when they're on offense, the crowd inside of Lucas Oil respects offense, and you can probably hear a dime drop.
That's remarkable.
When they're on defense, it's so loud that it's not that it's like the loudest stadium you've been in, but the contrast of
being able to have just a whisper conversation to the person next to you.
Well, imagine we're on a third down and you're right next to me. Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
Hey, you got an out route.
Yeah.
What'd you say? You got an out route. Right? And then we're walking off the sideline and I'm still yelling. And as soon as we cross the sideline, you can hear me. And it's like, we're still yelling and it's very quiet. So
everybody else can hear you yelling.
So what I'm saying, just in terms of communication and what it can do, just psychologically hearing the quiet and then hearing the loud and just trying to operate when you have a plant on the sideline in pure silence, like you're in an operating room or boardroom, and you're going into a concert right when you cross over the white line.
Going into the snake pit.
It can weaponize teams. I mean, Tennessee, I think also that was a part of the experience too, because Ohio State didn't have control of the game.
Yeah,
in the
playoff game, yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't get to go to that game, but my son said it felt different. It was exciting in there.
Everybody who I've talked to, my wife went with her mom.
Yep.
And they were sitting in there the whole game. They were like, they had been to the Nebraska game earlier that year, and then she was also at the Purdue game. So I think she had a 3:30 game, she had a noon game, and she had a night game. All the grounds covered. And she goes, that was, I don't know what they did different for that game, but it felt a lot different than what every other game I've been to this year has.
Yeah, no, that's sweet. I'm excited for Ohio State and in the stadium to participate. I mean, you see some of that stuff from like LSU or Ole Miss and just the synchronized. I mean, even our counterpart, Penn State, they do some good stuff too.
The whiteout is incredible. Yeah. It's an incredible college football environment.
Yeah.
And I will say this until the day that I'm dead. If you have an opportunity to ever go visit a whiteout at Penn State, and it doesn't matter whether Ohio State is in it, it doesn't matter if you're just a college football junkie and you want to go, you have to experience the whiteout at some point. It was one of the cooler things that I've ever been a part of. And I've told this story before on this air, but I was working with Skip and Jim and Paul, and I was bubble boy. I was down on the sidelines with the big parabolic microphone, hoping not to get run over. Like, that's all I was doing. I was keeping my head on a swivel.
Did you have your back to the field?
No, I was always in front of the play. I was always in front of the play, looking at the play coming at me.
Is there a guy that has his back to the field on the opposite end?
No, it was just one, because it was just an Ohio State Network thing. So I don't know what like national people do.
Yeah.
And that was the Joey Bosa walk-off sack in overtime.
Is this the Braxton Devier? Or is this the Jet?
No.
Is this the KJ Hill touchdown?
I don't really remember anything.
I can only remember offensive plays. I'm sorry.
it's overtime. Bosa gets the walk-off sack, but I'm telling you, Devier, you'd look up and you would look around, and it's a wall of white, so you have no perception of depth at all.
Yep.
And when they get rocking on third down, and you hear that 1,000 times in a game.
Yep.
I mean, that play, like the air, this sounds crazy to say out loud. The air is vibrating. Yeah. Like, you literally can't see anything in front of you. I'm like, I'm just holding a microphone, like, hoping not to get crushed by one of these dudes when they run over to the sideline. Like, I can't imagine trying to talk to the person next to you in that environment.
And the best part, you're sitting there standing on that grass. And to me, just grass, it makes the field just feel alive. Mm-hmm. It just makes the game feel different. Like, it responds back with, like, grass. You make a big play, you got grass in your helmet. And so the energy in stadiums with grass, and like you're saying, it's vibrating, like that ground reflects with that. And I mean, turf fields are awesome. They're awesome, but man, it's hard.
They're fast tracks.
It's hard to replace grass.
And it also hurts a lot less when you get slammed on grass than it does turf. Turf burns. I mean, sometimes it happens on grass, but not a lot. We'll hear some more Ross Bjork coming up here in the next hour. Coming up now, Buckeyes all done with camps. They got a big recruiting weekend on tap. We're going to check in with Lettermen Rose Spencer Holbrook. We'll talk about it here with him coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get one juicy flame grill Whopper sandwich, one original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best damn radio show in the land. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out here on a Wednesday. Devier hanging out as well. Right now, we're heading out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check with our guy. He is of Lettermen. He is Spencer Holbrook. Spence, thanks for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. How nice and balmy was it today at 7-on-7 camp for the Buckeyes? Pretty good out there?
It was too hot. It's too hot.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even to summer weather yet. We haven't even cracked the 90s yet, Spence.
I know. It was so hot out there, though. I was there for a couple hours. I saw what I needed to see, and I got back inside. Beeman, it is great to hear your voice again. I haven't been on with you in a while. Thanks for having me on with you.
Yeah, of course, man. It's always good to talk to you, Spence, of course. What did you gain the most out of these one-day kind of recruiting camps over at Ohio State for these last week or so, Spence, that you've been over there at the Woody?
Yeah, just getting to see a lot of talent, I guess. I thought that this was one of the best summers for these one-day camps. Just so many talented 27s and 28s, and as crazy as that is to say, it makes me feel old, makes me feel like I need a cane. But it's really cool just to watch all these guys kind of start to see their dreams come true. Some of these guys, their first big offer is Ohio State, and it's weird to see that happen. And some of these guys come in with all the offers except for Ohio State, and then they end up getting that Ohio State offer. And I love that part of it, is like watching the kids walk off the field knowing they earned that offer. Like, I think that's so cool. But then from a team perspective, it's the first time I've seen a lot of these guys since April when they get released out of spring ball, and seeing some of the transformations of some of these guys, the freshmen who are now in the program for a few months and in the weight room with Coach Mick, and some of the guys who have starting to make the year 2 or the year 3 leap that everybody wants to see them make. Just taking stock of where everybody's at with their transformations, their bodies. That's something that you always get out of this June, and I think we saw a lot of that here this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Jermaine Matthews, force his way onto the field, and obviously Arvell Reese, where we thought it was going to be C.J. Hickson, and who's budding over there? Who's fighting for some minutes? Whose body's changed? Who's a guy that could kind of mimic that production that Jermaine had in Arvell Reese?
Yeah, one guy that I saw today, actually, and I've seen him a couple times throughout the last couple weeks, is, and I've been beating the drum for him since the beginning of spring, Bryce West. I think he's up to like 195, 200 pounds. I think he looks like an ideal nickel for Ohio State. He's going to have to really compete hard with Lorenzo Stouts Jr. for that role, and maybe even Jermaine, if Jermaine wants to slide into the nickel and Devin Sanchez comes on as a true freshman. But, man, it's hard not to notice Bryce West and the transformation that he's undergone. I'm really excited for him. I've been telling people in March, I made a prediction that he was going to start at nickel for the Buckeyes.
Ooh.
And man, I'm not going to say that right now just because I think Lorenzo has so much experience and, he's a returning veteran. But man, Bryce looks the part. And the other guy that looks the part and has never played before, but I'm looking for as a potential guy to come in early, Riley Pettijohn as a 4-star, almost borderline 5-star linebacker out of the state of Texas that Ohio State pulled out of there. Man, he looks like an ideal sideline-to-sideline athletic physical freak of a linebacker. And he looks like he has taken this summer seriously. I'm super excited to see what he can do. Man, he looks the part. And that's what you're kind of looking for here in June, is who looks like they're ready. And then we'll see in August who actually is ready. But those two guys kind of jumped off the page at me as two guys who have taken this offseason extremely seriously and are ready to try to make a push.
He is Spencer Holbrook of Lettermen with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Are you in the same line of thinking that it seems to be every other Ohio State beat reporter is, Spence, and that Arvell Reese continues to grow every time you see him?
Yeah, I think he's just been in the lab, quite literally. I don't know what else. The other explanation for it, he is a physical freak, and I don't think that does him any services just saying that, because he looks bigger every time you see him, and it's hard to ignore the progress, and it's intimidating to see the progress. I could not imagine lining up as a quarterback or running back across from that and saying it's going to be okay.
Well, it's not like his other comrade in Sonny Styles is small either, Spence. I mean, he's a rather large human being as well.
Well, here's the thing. I saw both of those guys around Bo Atkinson last week, the defensive end who transferred from North Carolina. I was like, which one of these guys is the defensive end now? Just because all three of them look like they could line up on the edge. Now, Bo looks pretty big for his own part. He's been in the weight room at North Carolina and now here at Ohio State. And it's the things that I've heard about him are really promising. But, those two linebackers together, and then you add in, we saw the picture of Peyton Pierce today on one of the dudes of the week for Ohio State. man, like that is a physically gifted linebacker room, and James Laurinaitis has kind of turned the page on the linebacker room and made it his own. It seems like overnight. It's been a quick transformation from where they were to where they are now, and you got to be excited for the linebacker spot at Ohio State for this season.
Absolutely. It's going to be very physical, and they're going to play some intense football. I wanted to ask you, in terms of this quarterback battle, when we're looking at this quarterback battle, for me, in the preseason, I always love preseason games because you're like, as a wide receiver, you feel like when you need to win the game, we need to move the ball downfield. We need to put together 6, 7, 8, 12 play sets to go punching into the box, right? And as you're watching these guys at practice, Julian Sand and Lincoln Keenholz, I just wonder who's sticking out in terms of synchronizing the offense to just move the ball downfield and sequence these 6, 7, 8 play drives. Obviously, it's practice. Obviously, you really can't tell when there's drives. Are from to this point, has it been botchy with both guys? And that's why there hasn't been a guy named.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw Tavian St. Clair today, but I will tell you this. Mum is the word at Ohio State about these quarterbacks. I have never in my life heard less about the quarterback battle than I am right now. There's a mission from Ohio State, and I know there was probably some directive. Do not talk about this quarterback battle because I was asking around about it. It was like every time you ask, like, hey, how are the quarterbacks doing? They're good. Is that it?
Yeah, this is like the elephant in the room we're not talking about.
Yeah, is that it? They're good? Okay, well, sounds good. Let's move on to a different position. We're not seeing those guys right now. And, I did see Tavian today. He looked bulked up, looks like a college quarterback now when he still looked like a high school senior back in the spring because he technically was supposed to be a high school senior. But, Lincoln Keenholz, I haven't seen him around much. That's not to say he's not there putting in work. Julian Sand, haven't seen him around much, and I think this is all by design. To be honest, I just think that there's a directive out. We're not going to talk about the quarterback battle. We're not going to let anything get out right now, and we'll see you in August about it. And I think that's probably might be the best way forward for Ohio State. Yep. But man, like as a beat writer, somebody whose job it is to kind of itch around and see how that's all going. Man, it does get a little frustrating to just continue to hear like, yeah, they're doing well, and then you're just kind of radio silence after that. So. It's the quarterback battle. I wish I had more for you, Devier, but like, man, they're doing a really good job. They're doing a really good job of masking everything right now, and I think that's maybe the way it should be.
Stay tuned and find out is what Ohio State's answer is. We're going to get to camp, Spence, a month away from right now. So I think they're 6 weeks away from right now. So I think those answers will come probably pretty swift and fast in those first few days of camp when that gets underway. Ross Bjork, we were listening to him in our last segment. We'll listen to him a little bit more in the 7 o'clock hour. 75-minute press conference. Just your biggest takeaway from what Ross was talking about in this whole House v. NCAA settlement and really every part of ground that he covered in that presser.
Yeah, I like that there's some finality that we're starting to hear, Beam, like we've been hearing for so long. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with House. We'll see what happens with these other cases. Ross was pretty adamant, like, hey, this is a federal court order. This isn't a district, 8th district of Delaware, whatever court order. This is a federal court order. It's going to be pretty ironclad. It's going to be hard to break. And so there is a little bit of that notion, I think, from Ross of finality, like, hey, we can finally talk about this and have some details. And, the House settlement folks put together that 37 or whatever page it was, FAQs, that you kind of find out a little bit more about. The thing that I learned the most from Ross is that Ohio State feels – now that there is some finality there, that they can be the leader here. And that's why you already see the Buckeye Sports Group. That's why you already see that center for the coaches to be able to go and get resources on their rosters. That's why you've already seen Ohio State announce which 4 sports they're going to put the money behind and the other sports, how they're going to dole that out. It just seems like everything has been building toward this, and maybe that's an easy way out of that question. But I think just from Ross, like the overall sense that I got walking out of that room was like, Ohio State feels extremely good about where it is in the pecking order of college sports now that there is some definitive answers on how they can and how they will chart forward, and now they can be a leader and a power player in the new era just the same as they've been in every other era of college sports. And I think that should be really exciting for people. I know Ross is excited about it. We know that Ryan Day and others are excited about it. Jen Flynn Oldenburg at the volleyball team's got to be ecstatic about it because she's one of the 4 sports that's going to get some of that money. So Yeah, I just think the finality of it and to actually be able to discuss the House settlement with some definitive facts has me kind of thinking that Ohio State's ready for this new era and ready to put the past behind it.
Hey, before we get you out of here, you are the noted nephew of Aunt Karen Holbrook. That was the wrong button, Spence.
Absolute drunken orgy.
That was the right button that I hit. We have no fake breaking news right now that we need to go over. Where's Aunt Karen going on her summer vacation when we go into a dead period this weekend?
Yeah, I think that's more like why she's going into hiding for the 4th of July. If there's one holiday that we would consider, an absolute, you can play the soundbite. I'm not trying to get us any fines from the authorities.
Well, just know if you say it, it will be cut, and then the next time that you're on, it will just be you saying that and not Aunt Karen.
Is that true? Should I actually say it?
I mean, my gosh. You can if you want, but I'm going to play Aunt Karen, so.
Yeah, Aunt Karen's great. No, I think she's 4th of July, it's just not her thing. You're outside, you're drunk, you're lighting off fireworks. It does become an absolute drunken orgy. There you go. And so, she's probably just going into hiding, man. Like, I'm going to get out of town and go do a few things and have some fun. But for Aunt Karen, like, you get the 4th of July and the fireworks and the explosions and the drunkenness, like, she's just not about that. And so, she says, sayonara, we'll see you at noon on August 30th for a kickoff against Texas. Thank God it's a noon game, because can you imagine the folks from Austin and the folks from Columbus getting together to drink all day before that game? And Karen's worst nightmare. And so I think she's pretty happy that thing's at noon, unlike the rest of us.
Buddy, always fantastic to talk to you. Have a great little getaway, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
Thanks, guys. Always appreciate it.
There you go. It's our guy, Spencer Holbrook, Lettermen Row, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. One former Buckeye wants to change the trajectory of the Cleveland Browns. That's next. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan. Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay Eco to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get Eco to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying Eco to fix your AC system is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at the Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news, we fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on the Fan all season long. Yay, baseball.
Common Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain interoffice emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the Memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I've been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. If you still have a weird rash from jumping in Mirror Lake, we can be friends. This is the Buckeye Show.
Maybe you need to exercise those demons. Bring back the Mirror Lake jump. Did you ever do it?
I went, but I never. No, I was playing a couple of days ago. I couldn't do it.
You were busy.
No, I couldn't do it. But I went. I would always go, and it was
mayhem.
I still have videos on my phone.
It was mayhem. Yeah. Pixelated videos too. I know that they're not clear because if you look back in the day, and the quality of the videos from back then, they're not up to the standard of what they are today.
Yeah, no, it's definitely blurry, but you can make out some people. I could tell you who was there. It
was a great time.
It was a weird time.
It was a weird time.
It was almost like borderline mosh pit vibes.
I don't think it was borderline. I think it was just a.
There was nothing borderline about it.
Yeah, no, it was it was a water mosh.
A water mosh. Yeah, and so. And now that I'm older, I kind of could understand the anxiety of college kids running full speed into the lake and then running full speed home wet. It's just it worries me.
That's why it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
Just to be honest, I would be one of those parents hey, please shut that lake down.
Yeah, please. Let's do it. It's not the cleanest lake. I don't think that it was up to the sanitation standards of the Ohio State University.
Getting older.
We went for a nice little campus visit a couple of weeks ago. Looks good. Mirror Lake does.
It looks great.
Looks nice.
Yep.
I mean, for as much as we missed the Mirror Lake jump, they did a nice job with kind of rebuilding that over there.
The whole area, that was my favorite little spot.
Do you have a spot on campus?
To go chill?
Yeah, to go chill or study or any. If you had an hour to kill, because I think I had 90 minutes in between one of my classes and I didn't want to go back home. By the time that I got back home, I'm I got to go back again.
I'll be honest with you, man. Most college athletes would probably say this. We didn't have hours to kill. We were probably getting killed by the hours.
Yeah, you're right about that.
But I did enjoy the student union. I mean, because it popped up my second year. It wasn't I didn't know what they were building.
Yeah.
At the time, my freshman year, and they were like, "Oh, it's a student union." And
what the heck's a student union?
What is a student union? Because we don't have one.
Right.
And so, by my junior year, that place was. I always thought it was cool in there, because you saw the Ohio State memorabilia, but you just saw it from a school standpoint for me. And I actually did an internship in there and spent a lot of time. So, I think I like that area right there.
It's a good spot.
It's a good little spot.
I would always go to the top of Thompson Library.
Thompson Library.
Go to the top of Thompson, and it was this beautiful, just all covered in nice wood. And it was a great spot because you could see any part of campus, and there was usually never anybody up there. So it was a great spot just to hang out. I was reading this from a little bit earlier today. This was on the Skull session from 11 Warriors. Nick Chubb, no longer a Cleveland Brown, okay? That was very sad to see, Nick Chubb leaving. This guy's an icon up there in Cleveland. But listen to this. Quinshon Judkins, former Buckeye, 1 year, won national championship, 1,000-plus yard season here with the Buckeyes. In an interview that he was doing with Sports Illustrated this month, Judkins shared his excitement to start his NFL career in Cleveland. In his rookie season, he hopes, quote, to change the organization as he knows what it takes to win. Said, as a whole, we had a great draft class. I think everybody brought attention because of our talent and work ethic. Really, everybody came in with that mentality of being ready to work. I feel like for myself, as a competitor, as a player, that was one of my goals. When I came to be a Cleveland Brown, I'm coming to change the organization, contribute, and do the best that I can. I know what it takes to win, so I'm going to bring that mentality to Cleveland and do the same thing. I'm telling you what, if I'm any part of the Browns front office, one, I love that. Thank you very much for changing the trajectory. And also, two, it is sad that it's come to the point where the Browns organization needs to be changed and that you're relying on a rookie running back to do so. But I think ultimately good for Quinshon for putting the onus on his shoulder, saying, I've come to change the trajectory of this org.
Yeah. I mean, the mess of this draft and what it could be on the front end seems like it's so much going on, but I love his rhetoric and just in terms of saying, hey, this is what I want to do here. And when you look at Super Bowls, and I'm not saying the Browns are winning the Super Bowl.
Come on, dive into the water.
But I don't want to jump in.
You don't want to jump into those waters?
Yeah, I'm
not
good.
Lake Erie?
I'm good on Lake Erie. Yeah. But yeah, I'll stay away. I'm gonna stay down on the Ohio River where I'm from. Down close to the bluegrass.
Stay on the beach. Stay in the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico. Stay down there.
Yeah, so you want to win championships or at least find momentum to where, you might win or even a division championship with guys on their rookie rosters.
Yeah.
You got quarterbacks, you got running backs, you had a good D-line draft, in the last 2 years, Mike Halling, you got Mason Graham, you got vet players. Got big money guys. So young guys coming in with the mentality that, hey, I'm ready to fit into what these guys want. You think about the Myles Garrett situation and what this management is doing and what brought him back and him publicly outing the
That was
Browns.
pretty terse.
And it was very aggressive negotiation tactics, I think, Myles. But at the end of the day, this young guy – and if he can run like this, right? Like we know how he runs.
He can.
Like he can run like how he's talking.
He can do everything you want. He can change up speed. He can lower his pads. He can block. He can do things out of the backfield. Like he's very good.
And there's nothing like a team that's fighting for a championship with a running back as the engine because you need one. You need one. And in this division, he has a chance to stick out as the back of the future.
Yeah. That's true. You're absolutely right about that. I mean, look at Derrick Henry over there in Baltimore.
His time's running out.
I would still, it is, but he's also from, I don't even name a planet, he's not of this world. Derrick Henry. Yep. Yeah, he's a freak show. But you look at the running back situations, down in Cincinnati, got a couple of good ones down there. And then Pittsburgh still trying to find what they can do. And they're obviously going through some changes right now. They got Aaron Rodgers, but you're right about that. I mean, Quinshon could take the onus as the guy.
And to be honest, let's just talk about these guys for a while. I mean, you can go back to Jerome Bettis, the Jamal Andersons, the Rudy Johnsons, the Corey Dillons, you remember these kind of backs, right?
Oh, yeah, I remember these
Peyton
guys.
Hillis's of the world.
Sure.
He's that kind of back built for the AFC North.
Yeah.
So I'll get with this Quinshon talk of what we're trying to do. And to be honest, just being a guy from Cincinnati, I won't lie to you listeners, it's in my contract, and I'm contractually obligated to speak about the Browns. And so I have to with joy. Quinshon being a Brown is giving me more joy. I grew up a Bengals guy.
Yeah.
So
you're contractually obligated to say that. I don't know. I mean, they're in a fascinating spot, right? Obviously, with the quarterback situation. We know that. I mean, we've talked so much about the Deshaun Watson drama. You drafted 2 quarterbacks this year.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. You bring in Kenny Pickett, and then you have Joe Flacco. So what happens to them on the quarterback front? I'm not sure. I don't know if Andrew Berry's sure. I don't know if Kevin Stefanski is sure either. But one thing that I know, and I want to hit on before we get out of here, before the College Football Pulse, is that you hit on something very important. You want to hit on your guys with rookie contracts.
Yes, you do.
You want to do that because then, Devier, and you know this, you've been around football for a long time. You lose those guys to other teams via free agency, and then you have to rebuild again. You want to win when your guys are in their contracts through one's year 1 through 4 or 1 through 5, depending on your first rounder or not. It's a lot easier on the math of the salary cap if you're able to be competitive in those years.
It's the total opposite of buying a championship, right? Like it's just. But how do you do it? You need guys on their first 4 years to cash out, man, and they have to have a veteran group to where there's already a standard set. And we're searching for something, and you guys better jump on board and not only like jump on board from a vet, locker room standpoint, but be productive and highly productive to the point to where like what comes to my mind, I just think about the Seattle team because that was my draft year, 2012. They absolutely killed that draft. I mean, they got Bobby. Well, the 3 years before, Earl Thomas, Cam, Richard,
Legion
Russell,
Boom, LOB.
Yeah, Russell, Bobby, all those guys were on their rookie deals.
Bruce Irvin.
Right. Which is it was a crazy deal. So, this is the Bennett guys. Bruce Irvin wasn't even there. This was like Bennett, and those guys hadn't even got paid.
Yeah.
Like they had some undrafted free agents that had like vaulted and highly paid. It was like Miss Bain or something like that.
Okay,
Up in Bennett. And so they were cheap on that side, even too on the vet side. Those situations, and I'm not comparing that to the Browns, but are what we're highlighting.
Yeah, one of the greatest teams in recent NFL history to the Browns. You're not going that far.
Well, I mean, that before that year.
They were one play away from going back-to-back.
Well, I mean, from our perspective, we would have been covering them talking about them signing Matt Flynn, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
you're right.
So it looks like that we're covering the Browns talking about them signing Joe Flacco.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know if the Seahawks drafted 2 quarterbacks in one draft, though. I'm not sure if they did that. The SEC.
No.
I don't think that they did. The SEC needs to go to a 9-game conference schedule in order for the playoff to expand again. That's next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Guys, give Dad the extra boost of health and energy he needs to live his best life. Low T Center is offering free weight loss consultations and free T tests as a special offer celebrating dads. Treatment is personalized and most major insurance is accepted. They'll have the freedom to choose in-center care or at-home treatment. You're helping put Dad back in control of his health. Now until the 21st, enjoy a free B12 shot when you stop in for TRT and weight loss. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com. Fixmylowt.com.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers, we're improving lives, we're reimagining healthcare.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Nate Poonerball. In the NBA, the Buss family have reportedly entered an agreement to sell a majority stake in the Los Angeles Lakers to Dodgers owner Mark Walter. The Buss family have owned the Lakers since 1979. Jeannie Buss will continue to serve in her role as Lakers governor. The Cincinnati Reds are at home tonight taking on the Minnesota Twins, who enter on a 5-game losing streak. Nick Lodolo takes the mound for the Reds against Bailey Ober. First pitch is 7:10. Catch the action immediately following the Buckeye Show here on The Fan. The Cleveland Guardians head to San Francisco tonight to take on the Giants. Logan Allen will pitch for the Guardians, taking on Justin Verlander. First pitch is later tonight at 9:45. And former Buckeye Damon Arnett returns to the NFL after 3 years, signing a 1-year deal with the 49ers. Damon most recently completed in the UFL. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hour number 2 here on the Buckeye Show, hanging out with Devier Posey this evening. Nate Dogg, happy Wednesday to you, buddy.
Good evening, boys.
What you got over there for us this evening?
All right. Bert is taking some shot at his old friends in the SEC. Of course, the commissioner's getting back together next week to talk some more playoffs. Bert was talking to some reporters and said, I don't think there's any way we could do a 16-team playoff if the SEC is not at 9 conference games. I was told that they voted unanimously to stay at 8 and not play the Big Ten, but then some people pop off and say what they want to say because they want to look a certain way. Is Bert just throwing a little jabs, or has he got a point?
I think he has a point, and I also think he's not one to shy away from a little jabs either. Like him or love him, Brett Bielema, I think that with the fire around his team and everybody picking them as the next Indiana, all right? I mean, you ask college football writers all across the country, who is your dark horse Indiana-esque team? And like everybody is picking Illinois. And you look at them and they've got a pretty easy, manageable schedule for Big Ten standards. And they do play Ohio State. We're going to get the Yellow Buck back here in Columbus. Going to make sure that happens. You look at the end of his season with the T situation against Beamer and the South Carolina Gamecocks and them opining for a college football playoff berth. I feel like Brett Bielema's got a lot. He's got a lot of pop to him right now. I don't know if he had that down in Arkansas with the way that ended, but he's back in the Big Ten. They are a program, and you and I, Devier, were actually just talking about this in the break with NFL teams and how you can look at their roster and say, okay, I understand what they're trying to do. And then you look at some others like, I don't know if you really have an identity. Brett Bielema is the kind of coach with an identity. Brett Bielema has an identity. They're hard-nosed, they're rugged, they're tough, they're physical. They're not going to wow you with much they do, but they will beat you into a pulp for 60 minutes. Not to say that they're going to win, 11 games this year, but you know exactly what you're getting with a Brett Bielema coach team, and that is tough, it is physical, it's nasty, it's violent.
Yeah, absolutely. I might have to roll with him on this one. And this is, Nate, this is something to where, hey, you guys know that this league is perceived as so good and over the last 10 years, and obviously you got to thank the Saban era for that, and it solidified it. But I just believe last year it's kind of dispelling, and it's going to continue to go that way. They're not moving on these 8 games is very alarming, and I kind of understand the panic, because those games at the end of the season where you can be set in a conference, and then last year you go see Alabama get popped by Michigan, and I think a Big Ten team won the Capital City Bowl too. I got to double check. I would have to double check. I think Iowa might have got that one, but you just wonder, is he right? Should they play another game? Should they cross over and play an East team? Should they keep old rivalries? And I got to be with him on that. It has to be a level playing field. You guys can't assume that you're just the best league because everything's greater in the South, everything's bigger in Texas. No, it's not true. It's not true.
I'm telling you, man, I watched a lot of SEC ball this year, and I was just generally unimpressed by it.
It was kind of sloppy this year.
It was okay.
Yep.
It was okay, but I was like, I think the Big Ten is better. And then they crowned a national champion from the Big Ten, and it made sense. Let's go down the bowl schedule, because I have forgotten that many of these bowls were even a thing. College football playoff national championship. Ohio State beat Notre Dame 34-23. We've got that one. Also in the Cotton Bowl, Buckeyes 28, Texas 14. Buckeyes 2-0 there for the Big Ten. Actually, just added up to 4. We know what they did. Duke's Mayo Bowl. Minnesota beat Virginia Tech 24-10. Illinois beat South Carolina in the Citrus Bowl. Penn State beat Boise in the Fiesta Bowl. That was a college football playoff game. That doesn't count. ReliaQuest Bowl, Michigan 19, Alabama 13 was the one that you were talking about. Iowa lost the Music City Bowl to Missouri. You're thinking, Devier, of the Pinstripe Bowl, where Nebraska took down Boston College, and then USC beat Texas A&M in the Vegas Bowl.
There it is.
So we got that to look forward to, which is nice.
And so we beat you guys all in these bowl games, and then we still are required to play one more. You know why? It's because we play one more game than you.
We're ready to go. We're ready to rock. I mean, in all honesty, to Brett Bielema's point, though, it would be a much easier situation if both of those conferences, which have kind of aligned themselves, and I know that they've had a spat over this last month or so between Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti and all the ironing out of the future of the college football playoff and expansion. If you want to get on the same page, you're going to have to go to 9 conference games. It's just going to have to happen. The Big Ten did it a couple of years ago. They did away with the leagues in the East and the West, or the legends and leaders, and that was a few years ago. But you're just going to have to get on the same page. And even like what we talked about a few weeks ago, do 9 games and then have a Big Ten versus SEC week where everybody plays each other week 1, week 2, week 3, whatever you want to make it. Make it week 3 right before you go into Big Ten week. And then let's go. Let's do it.
Yep.
Make it happen.
Well, would that lose some of the lesser of the Big Ten SEC bowl games?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'd be okay with regular season games because they're not at neutral site fields. And so we would get to see, like, Wisconsin go to LSU. I don't know. That's a bad example because I think we saw that a few years ago.
And really, do you care about the Pinstripe Bowl anyway, other than the results?
Not really. No, I can't say. I do care about the Duke's Mayo Bowl. I enjoy that one. I enjoy the Pop-Tart Bowl. But the Pinstripe Bowl, not really paying attention that much.
Right, yeah.
Unfortunately.
What do you like about the Pop-Tart Bowl? You want to see that Pop-Tart?
I want to see
I want to see that.
The cannibalism of the Pop-Tart.
Listen, man, college football at its core is wacky and zany. And I think just the introduction of a college coach being doused in mayonnaise after they win that game, and then with a giant life-size Pop-Tart being the reward for a college football team after they played either 13 or 14 games in a season. I love it. It's wacky, it's zany, it's everything that college football should be. It's fun.
Absolutely.
What else you got for us, Nate?
All right, ESPN did a list of the 10 most unbreakable records in all of college football. They, of course, had like Barry Sanders' single-season rushing record, the 1971 Oklahoma team with their 472 yards rushing a game. Devier,
that'll never happen again.
That'll never happen again. But Devier, I want to know as a wide receiver how you would be reacting if John Reeves was your quarterback and he tossed up 9 picks in a game.
So I was on the Texans when Matt Schaub set the NFL record for pick sixes. I think it was 8 in a season, bro.
Okay. Nathan Peterman, I think, has that in a game, though. Didn't he throw 3 pick sixes, like back to back to back a few years ago? He had 6 total. He had 6 total in the game, I think.
That would be very disappointing and just like, oh, man. Like, just, and it's a bad record to have, right?
Yeah, it's not a good record, no.
And how bad is the backup is the real question.
That's a great point, Nate. I would have to think that he does not have command of the offense. Although if 9 picks is having command of the offense, then I would be scared of what the alternative would be. Here is a good one that I saw on this article from ESPN. And this one was number 1, Oklahoma's 47-game winning streak. In today's day and age, no chance. No chance that that's going to happen. And then another good one that I saw, and this was just a few years ago, was the Patrick Mahomes game. And just in case you don't know out there, Patrick Mahomes with a separated throwing shoulder and a fractured left wrist he suffered in the first half, then went on to set an FBS record with 819 yards of total offense. He completed 52 of 88 passes. Yes, 52 of 88 in a single game for 734 yards and 5 touchdowns. He also rushed for 85 and 2.
You talk about the stat that, like, that would be probably that Andy Reid maybe saw and said, bottom line, there's never been a guy that played college football that's ever did this. He might be special. His ceiling is, you can have a lucky day, but inside of that guy is that 819 yards, and this dude on a Saturday can throw 88 passes. That's insane.
I mean, there's just. I know we've done so many different conference realignments, and I don't even know which teams. Like, it's still weird for me to watch Cincinnati football and then be in the Big 12 like that.
Yeah.
And you being from Cincinnati, it just doesn't make sense. You know,
it's tough geographically.
Like, it's just hard to watch.
You know, I'm a Conference USA guy.
Yeah, I need just to recondition my brain, like, in the way of college football right now. But there's one thing that I miss about, like, mid-2000, 2010s college football. And that was the Big 12 just playing no defense. Like, those were I wouldn't like that in the Big 10, but as a neutral watcher and football enjoyer, watching a 70 to 55 game was just out of control fun.
Yeah, I feel like if any of these records would be broken, Lincoln Riley is going to challenge that one someday.
Yeah, I mean, the Big 12, and just the receivers at the time. You talk about Crabtree, Darius Bowman, Justin Blackman, Dez Bryant. Oh, man, Ryan Broyles. It was just a great time.
Ryan Broyles, great poll.
Yeah, oh, man, great time. Kenny Stills, young Stills, too. So, yeah, it was – you could turn on a Saturday, those 3:30 games out there, and, man, you're watching a light show.
Watching Texas Tech versus Kansas State, and I don't know what the score is going to be, but I know it's going to be high scoring.
You're watching some Colin Klein pull some RPOs.
Yeah, God, that was great, too. They had all different kinds of stuff in the Big 12 back in the day for you. Ohio State has carried the day for Big Noon on Fox long enough. Those aren't actually my words. Those are Ross Bjork's. That's next. That's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag #BuckeyesCare.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Join Ross Lettermen and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access.
The cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Windy, warm, and humid with scattered thunderstorms developing on this Wednesday. Some could be strong to severe later this evening into early tonight. Temperatures in the mid-80s to finish off the day. Starting off your Thursday around 70, warm and humid once again. A couple of showers and perhaps a thunderstorm through early afternoon. Otherwise, a dry finish by Thursday afternoon and evening. Temperatures in the upper 70s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Ryan Day's favorite radio show. Probably. Maybe. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out here on a Wednesday. Let me tell you about my good friends over at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. I dropped 70 pounds with them, and it felt like finally finishing a massive home renovation. But listen to this. It gets better. I just had my first free monthly maintenance visit and found out I lost another 4+ pounds without even trying. So I'm down nearly 75 pounds with Awaken 180. And it's not about meds or quick fixes. It's about learning how to exactly stock your fridge and pantry with all the right tools. I still eat plenty, still feel satisfied, and now making healthy choices. It's second nature, like flipping the light switch on, first try in the dark. My body's firing on all cylinders, and I'm down 75 pounds total without meds or hunger tricks. Just real education on eating smarter and feeling fantastic. Call Awaken at 180 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, once you learn the blueprint, your only regret is to not calling them sooner. 844-346-1800. Tony Gerdeman, Buckeye Huddle. He's going to join the program coming up here at 7:30 this evening. I love when we get to do shows together, Devier, because they just kind of turn into like reminiscing segments during the break. And it's the old adage where you sit a couple of guys in a room and then it doesn't take very long where you just start naming dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, sit in a room. Hey, do you remember this guy? Yep, do you remember this guy? What were we talking? I forget how we got on this discussion, but I mean, we were talking about like Alabama's recruiting class with Mark Ingram and Julio Jones and all those guys. I was saying something about Darren McFadden. I was always a big fan of his, like watching him growing up in the day. I'm like, that guy, that guy's going to be incredible someday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so a lot of those times where, like my favorite guys, you know, those Pat White, Steve Slayton days were good.
That was fun. Was Noel Devine there too? Was he at West Virginia
he
during
was right
that time?
after that. But like I could also
one of the best high school highlight tapes you'll ever watch. If you haven't watched Noel Devine highlight mixtape on YouTube, go and do yourself a favor at some point and do that.
And I would rival another name, Sam McGuffey high school highlight tape.
Yeah, Sam McGuffey's a good poll. That's a great poll from
That's
you.
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Everybody, you need to watch Sam McGuffey's highlight tapes. And I remember by
he
the time
hurdled a dude full speed. That's what made him go viral. I was like, this dude was running full. Like that was way before Zeke.
And he was. And I want to say that the Sam McGuffey like highlights were when he was like in middle school, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he got to like be a junior or senior, and it's like, where's he gonna go? You know, what's he gonna do? But
where is he gonna go?
Yeah, that kid was. that's an all-time. That's a Mount Rushmore highlight package. Sam McGuffey.
Yeah. We grew up in a great time in college football where the conferences actually aligned with the region.
Yeah,
and it made sense.
It did, right? I don't know if we're ever going to get back to that, but it would be nice.
No. I mean,
the regionality in college football is what's special about it, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I like it. You know, I like playing teams in your region. It just feels a little bit different.
Yep, and then also on top of it, like there was a style of ball and like a style of play that was distinct to that region.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Big 12, You want to go see 7-on-7 with helmet, with helmets and pads? There it is.
You want to go watch the Pac-10 at the time? Like you want to go watch some air raid offenses? Go watch that. You can do that.
Yep. And I think what the Pac did during that time was just what Chip implemented and just speeding the game up and change. I mean, it took him to a national chip. It revolutionized the game, and just like everybody has turbo packages in their offense when you need to get hey, let's get in our chip. So
is it once every 13 seconds they were running a play? It was something crazy like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what I do with my flag football team.
Is it? You guys are just hyperspeed offense?
Yeah, no huddle. Yeah, you got 4 plays.
Let's go.
Yep.
Let's do it.
We're not going to make this hard.
No. Everybody just run straight. Are you just an all-go route guy? Just run. Just go down there. You guys are down there somewhere. Chuck it to them.
No, I ain't gonna. I would annoy you if I were going against your son's team because I don't talk to other teams.
He'll never be playing the 7-on-7. He's not like that.
He's not 7-on-7 guy.
Nah,
they got a center position.
Okay, now we're talking.
My son plays center.
He's more interior line. That's what he is. That's what he's built.
Here's the thing, man. You can't do that to him. He could be,
whatever
light on his feet. He could be light on his feet.
That's true.
He could be light on his feet.
I'm telling you right now, he's not going to be a wide receiver.
There's a guy named Deebo Samuel in the league.
You're right.
Debo's changing the game.
I don't think he got Deebo Samuel genetics from me though. That's the bad part.
Here it is.
That's the I mean, if you want to play catcher, that's cool. I get that.
Yep.
Not really a middle infielder build.
Yep. I like that.
Don't think that's going to happen. So all kinds of fun stuff. It's always fun to reminisce with you. But, yeah, do yourself a favor. Noel Devine, Sam McGuffey, highlight tapes. Go watch that. Whether you're eating dinner tonight or just resting and relaxing, watch some of those. It's a great thing. So we heard from Ross Bjork a little bit earlier on in the show. We're going to listen to some of him again. And here was Ross Bjork talking about – he talked about all kinds of different stuff here. Just – the amount of noon games that Ohio State has played, will continue to play here in Ohio Stadium, or whether it's on the road. It was 6 straight to end the year last season. Here was him talking about that entire situation with Fox and the noon kicks.
So what we need more flexibility. Can that happen anytime soon? I don't know. But I think every program should deserve the right to have way more flexibility. We have carried the day for Big Noon. There's no question about it. If you look at the viewership, so we understand why Fox went with Big Noon. We understand why we're picked all the time, but we're hoping just more flexibility. That's what we're looking for. And so, I think Commissioner Petiti is going to work with our TV partners. We're going to continue to have those conversations, but can anything change anytime soon? Probably not.
I mean, again, it's the old adage. That's what the money's for, right? I mean, when you signed that deal with Fox and they gave you the mega deal and you had CBS and NBC also come into the fray, you know that you're the big dog in the conference. And if they get the majority of number 1 picks, and on a week-to-week basis, whenever that changes, week 8 or week 9, where it just becomes rolling and nobody has access to those games, then you know exactly what's going to be on their big board as their first choice. It's going to be you. It is. And I don't know, like Ross Bjork said, you're in a contract, you can't go back on it. You can't say, you can't take this game. You can't take this game against Texas. Why not? Why can't I do that from a Fox perspective? And of course they are.
So it is the, NIL and the transfer portal has kind of given the schools the ability to realign the conferences. And so by giving the students power, you give the universities even more power to control their students. Are we at the position where this can say the frustration that he has with not being able to pick his times is the next hurdle, the TV contracts?
I think so.
In control of the TV contracts.
Yeah, I think on their play as a large-scale operation, it would be figuring out whatever this playoff format is going to be, whether that's going to be expansion, what the automatic qualifiers are going to be. I think for Ross Bjork specifically, inside of Ohio State and inside of the Big Ten, throw your weight around, and I think that he's doing that for sure. I think you can hear it when he speaks that, a lot of Ohio State fans have opined for a long time that, you're the biggest brand here. Start acting like it.
Oh, he was stepping definitely in that conversation. he dropped some bars for sure.
Nate Dogg?
I just want to know, I've been thinking about this for a while. The 3:30 time slot, how did CBS allow themselves to go from the home of the SEC to a time slot no one talks about anymore.
It's a great point.
That time slot's the best time slot.
It is a great time slot. One sidebar, it sounds very weird, the CBS college football theme music with Big Ten teams. Let me get that out of the way. It just sounds weird. It looks weird. It doesn't feel right. But that's a great point because Fox gobbles up all the best games for the noon games. Mm-hmm. And then you have NBC, who I think is the second biggest payer on this contract, who also gets some of the premier night games. And so CBS, to your point, Nate, went from like primetime, spectacle, must-watch, afternoon, 3:30 window. Nestler and, Blackledge, like those guys, to then having the middle-of-the-road, like, Big Ten games.
How sleepy were you in 2023 when we opened at Indiana with that CBS game? And it was a 3:30 game.
And they loved a drone shot, too. They loved it. I can't remember.
So sleepy. For the first game of the year, too, and you're just like...
It's a conference game. It's a Big Ten game.
And then Coach Guerreri from he's on our staff now, but he was on the Indiana. He played and covered 2 that whole time, so we didn't get to see Marvin Harris. It was probably Marvin Harris's worst game as a Buckeye, and Marvin Harrison Jr.'s worst game as a Buckeye. And you're just like, this is the first game of the year in the CBS process, and it's just like, hey, we're back.
We're gonna listen to Gary Danielson.
It was tough. That was tough. So I'm with you on that CBS product and Big Ten not feeling right.
But I like the CBS product. You know what I mean? I like it. It's just great. It feels weird.
We're getting used to this new alignment, and we're getting used to everything. And you got to give the credit because our guys Cardell and Beanie are on there, but I would say this: NBC and Peacock, that product is. I'm okay with it. I'm getting okay with.
I like watching. I like watching Joshua Perry.
Exactly.
I like watching him on the desk. Exactly. I think that's great.
And I think I've gotten used to Andrew Whitworth not wearing collar shirts and wearing T-shirts and blazers.
He loves wearing the hoodie under his blazer. It's a good look. I couldn't pull it off, but more power to him.
And I'm getting used to Michael Robinson and Perry, and it's just like, okay, I'm getting a feel for this. So it's wearing on me.
It is. I don't know if it's wearing on a lot of Ohio State fans that when you do get the Peacock treatment, that you've got to go and buy a subscription service for one week out of the year to watch your game. Well, and you and I are millennials. We're streamers, so the chance we already have Peacock. We've got 100 different TV subscriptions, so
internet-based, baby.
Yeah, it doesn't bother us as much as it does. But like my dad or my stepdad, who's a big Notre Dame fan, like they also play. They have the big NBC contract. They play one game a year on Peacock, and he's always calling me. He's like, hey, can I use your password? Can I use your login? Because I don't want to pay $8 or whatever it is to watch a football game. I'm like, dude, you're just going to one, yes, you can have all of that. I don't mind sharing that information with you. But 2, this is the way of the future. This is the way it's going.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to pay for I mean, honestly, it's a way better deal than original cable. I mean, you just think about it. It's way better to just stream. You just got to understand just the full breadth and knowledge of it, right?
You have to.
Yeah, my mom was a streamer. Yeah, she's a streamer all the time.
Is she?
Yeah, she was.
Good for her.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're like, hey, I'll walk you through this stuff. But once she got it, she was like, oh, I can get these shows at any time, all day, all night.
You can binge watch it for 15 hours if you want.
There it is.
Just on repeat.
There it is.
Yeah, and you don't even have to wait for your DVR to click in. Like nothing. Yeah, my stepdad, he cut the cord too, so see how he's managing that. Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Huddle. He pops by. We'll talk some Buckeye camping with him here coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
It's your lucky day because at Speedway, there's a $5,000 winner every single day. All you do is shop with Speedy Rewards. Then play the in-app game for a chance to win $5,000 in cash. So you could win $5K today, or the next day, or the next day, or the next... Okay, you get it. New daily cash winners only at Speedway. Are you next? No purchase necessary. Ends 1/6/26 USDC 16+. For official rules and free gameplay, go to 5k-a-day.com/rules.
With over 33 years in business, Newman Roofing believes white glove services shouldn't be a thing of the past. From the first call, you'll be greeted with friendly professionals to answer all your questions. Special financing options available now, so call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend this show. The other dentist is a Michigan fan. Yuck! You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out on a Wednesday, Brandon Beam, Devier, Posey. Right now, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check with our guy. He is a Buckeye Huddle, Tony Gerdeman. Gerd, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. What was the real feel on the turf over at the Woody today?
You know, fortunately, I was at basketball, so I didn't go over there today. But
did you volunteer for that? I'll stay in the air conditioning of the shot, so I don't have to go on the field.
Well, I got some questions for that.
Yeah, the key is to try to be on the grass field instead of the plastic field. But a couple of days ago, with all of the rain that we've gotten, they didn't do anything on the grass fields on Monday, so it was all on the plastic fields. But you know, it's not been as hot as it has been in previous years, and then since I wasn't there today, I think this is the best camp ever.
Yeah, it was the most successful day that Ohio State will ever have. So you went to the one-day camps that Ohio State's been having for the last week or so. Just your biggest takeaway, whether it's a recruiting storyline, whether it's a storyline about the coaches, players that you were seeing out there, just kind of your biggest takeaway from this start of the summer for them.
Yeah, you know, so many players. It's like 2.5 weeks, and you almost forget what happened in the first week by the end of this week. And I had to, earlier today, I was going back and like looking at the first camp and then looking at the second week. And I think it comes down to players that you see that stand out. And one of the players for me is crazy to say, like a 2028 receiver, Eric McFarland, who stood out last year before his freshman season and already had offers at camp. But a guy who is, 5'8", but I don't care. Nobody cares. He's got all kinds of offers. He's explosive. He's quick, but he's fast. I was told last year that he ran a 4.39 at a camp out west as a 7th grader. And so he's continued to build a rapport at Ohio State. And, at the end of camp, as Devier knows, they have one-on-ones, quarterbacks throwing to receivers who are being covered by defensive backs. McFarland wasn't really doing any of that. He was just hanging out with the Ohio State receivers. And so it's like he really seems like he feels at home at Ohio State, and they seem to really, really want him.
Absolutely. You mentioned you were over in the basketball arena, earlier. I wanted to ask you, because this is the week this is my favorite thing that the basketball team does, the veteran camp. Yeah. And I was hoping that you got to peek. I always like to ask, who got the dub? Did our team compete at all with the vets?
Well, and apparently, and that was like yesterday and earlier than today. And Jake Diebler mentioned that he would have preferred if the vets played better defense.
They're playing NBA defense. Oh, okay.
Right, exactly. So that was kind of that was one of those things. I don't think it was NBA All-Star game bad, but there may be some of those leanings. And the vets did tell him several times, like, your guys play so hard. And so, it's good to see. And obviously you've got all these guys, NBA guys, and there's more than there have been in past decades, basically, helping and coaching and bringing along these younger guys, and just showing them things that maybe their own experience from the NBA, but not just the NBA, the Ohio State situation as well. So you get those veterans coming back, and maybe if they could just play a little bit better defense, Diebler would be happy.
Absolutely.
I think it was interesting, Gerd, because I was listening to a little of Jake Diebler before we started the show here, and I think it was Adam Jardy who asked him the question, just how's this offseason been compared to last, or does it feel any different a little bit? And I think it was pretty wild when Jake Diebler said, well, we've played more 5-on-5 basketball in the first week and a half of us being active in team activities than really what we did all of the preseason for last year. And then I went back and I'm like, yes, they did, because they had a lot of injury concerns last year and guys missing time, getting ready to ramp up to the start of the season. I mean, I think that in itself is a pretty major storyline for this Buckeye Hoops team in the middle of June.
Yeah, it's much better than playing 5-on-4 and a guy with holding a broom in the paint type of thing. So yeah, like just getting the experience of the opportunity for 5 guys to play with each other as a unit, and then subbing out and playing against 5. Like, it's football coaches. Ryan Day has talked about this before, where the only way to get better is playing in games, and that's why it's so difficult in football, like for quarterbacks to get better, because you only have 10 to 15 games a year, whereas basketball, you can play 10 to 15 games over the span of 4 or 5 days in terms of AAU or even scrimmages like this, where it's legit 5-on-5 basketball. And you just can't do that in football. So in basketball, anytime you can play 5-on-5 and get going and running and transition and just going from pulling the ball down to leading a fast break, and who is able to, can Devin Royal grab a rebound and lead a fast break, that sort of thing, and just getting that experience against 5 other defenders, I think it's invaluable. Basketball is such a sport where it seems like you should never be low on numbers. There should always be people, ready to play on a team. And then last year was just a bad year.
Man, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I think this group, in terms of guard play and off-season and coming together, is important for them to play 5-on-5. And this is always like my favorite thing that any program that Ohio State does, because they include the guys. And basketball is such a unique sport that so many years of experience can be on the court at one time. And it does mean a lot to hear you say that the vets are saying these guys are playing harder and they're playing together, because that's the result of playing together, right? Everything just comes, at other teams more full circle. So this team with these guards that we're stocked with and these veterans, I'm super excited for this year.
Yeah, and I think there's reason to be. And you mentioned the guards, and they added some really interesting front court depth and just the development of a Devin Royal going from the paint to the perimeter, what he can bring. So I think there's a lot of pieces to like. I thought it was interesting, Jake Diebler talking about Gabe Cupps, the transfer guard from Indiana, how he reminds him of himself. So maybe a better player than Jake was, that plays the game the same way, that with all of the kinds of effort and the grit and the coach's son type of thing, all of the stereotypes that we know about, he likes from Gabe Cupps, and just that kind of grit that will allow them to, whether it's defensively or offensively, give Bruce Thornton a little bit of a break here and there, as they tried to do last year. But I think they're going to be able to do that more this year in terms of he doesn't have to command the ball as much this year. But even seeing Bruce Thornton today, he looks good. He looks ready, and a lot of smiles on the team today.
He is Tony Gerdeman, a Buckeye Huddle, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Devier and I have been listening to a lot of the Ross Bjork interview press conference that he gave last week. Gerd, 75 minutes spanning a whole lot of topics. I feel like if you ask this question to 10 different people, they might come up with 10 different answers. But to you, what were you kind of keying in on hearing Ross Bjork talk about, whether that was playoff expansion, conference realignment, NIL deals? What kind of piqued your interest the most when he was speaking?
Well, I think like anybody, when you have a strong opinion on something, it's always good when maybe one of the most powerful men in sports completely agrees with you. And so that's what I was kind of keying on when he was talking about the 4-4-2-2-1 versus the 5+11, and how the Big Ten and Ohio State is in support of the 4-4-2-2-1 format, as I am, and that the 5+11 would basically destroy non-conference scheduling and make it even worse than it already is nationwide. And so I'm with them on the 4-4-2-2-1 situation where, you get the SEC to 9 conference games. If possible, you get the Big Ten and the SEC playing some cross-conference games. But the idea that yes, you have to accept that the Big Ten and the SEC are going to be guaranteed 4 big.
Yep.
Oh, he's gone. Disappeared. I don't know where he went. He's still on the phone, Nate. I think we lost service with Gerd. It's really unfortunate because he was making. Yeah, there he is. Gerd, can you just rewind like 30 seconds because you disappeared into the ether? I think you were talking about the 4-4-2-2-1 model compared to the 5 and 11.
Yeah, the 4-4-2-2-1 is going to enhance the non-conference schedule, and the 5+11 would kill it because the 5+11, you're just as I've said, that 5+11 is a beauty pageant. The 4-4-2-2-1 is a battlefield. And so SEC coaches want the 5+11 because it's easier for them. They don't have to go to a 9th conference game. They can just, enjoy the hypothetical wins that the SEC strives and loves. Whereas, with the 4-4-2-2-1, you do have to you get your auto bids, but it allows for you to lose games. And so what that means is you can have better non-conference games. You can have Ohio State, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, as we will see in the coming years. However, if you get rid of the 4-4-2-2-1 or that proposal and you just go 5+11, there is no real reason to play those games anymore when the entire goal is to make the playoffs. And so the best, easiest way to make the playoffs is to have a non-conference schedule like Ohio State had last year. And so, yeah, the 5+11 is probably better for Ohio State, but the 4-4-2-2-1 is better for Ohio State fans or college football fans at large, especially if you bring in the play-in games, which is a possibility in the 4-4-2-2.
He's gone. Let's just cut ties with him. Bye, Gerd. There he goes. He just gave us the Irish goodbye. Tony Gerdeman. Buckeye Huddle, Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. It stinks because he's making good points. I don't know if that was on our end or if that was on his end, but it was good stuff from Gerd. I am a little bit disappointed because I was going to ask him whose highlight mixtape he preferred between Sam McGuffey and Noel Devine.
We got to get that. Get that.
I think that's going to be the fan poll for tomorrow. I need to email Bodie. I'll say, hey, whose high school highlight tape or junior high? I don't want to discriminate against anybody out there, but whose would be your favorite? So always appreciate Gerd. That was fantastic stuff out of him, as always. We'll do hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Swimming in debt? Save your summer with a debt consolidation loan from BMI Federal Credit Union. With rates as low as 8.99% APR, now is the perfect time to consolidate your debt. Visit bmifcu.org/consolidate for more details.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
What is dippable and dunkable? And now at Donato's, it's Donato's new chicken dippers. Flavorful boneless chicken breast tenders served up with 7 amazing dipping sauce options, including new garlic parmesan and sweet chili. For a limited time, try new chicken dippers for just $5 on the $5 Pizza Pals menu. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
For over 30 years, Schumacher Homes has been building affordable custom homes throughout the Buckeye State. Experience true customization on your land, your way, without any compromises. Come visit any of our 9 Ohio model home and design studio locations to see the latest in design trends and learn about our award-winning building process, or start online at SchumacherHomes.com. You'll be surprised how affordable a custom home will be. Schumacher Homes, proud home building sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye Games. Do it now.
Colin Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain inter-office emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the Memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I've been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
I want to remind everybody out there that we here on the Buckeye Show are sponsored by our great friends over at Coors Light. When those mountains are blue, you know what that means. Taste as cold as the Rockies. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will get you down to Cincinnati, Ohio, where we have a thrilling baseball game between the Twins and the Reds. It is currently in a rain delay before the game even started. So we'll get you to some delayed Reds weather-wise coverage coming up at the top of the hour. You're a Cincinnati guy.
Yep.
Following the Reds?
Yeah, man. They've been going well.
Yeah, all right. Been doing okay. I'd like to play this game this evening. 38-35. You're a few games over 500 right now. It's usually the time of the year that I know you and I are pretty similar in age that they fade. So
yes,
hopefully that they can have a nice little summer streak and they continue to put together, just be in striking distance by the time that.
I always say if they can get me to August, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Yeah, just get us to August, Get us to August. Year 1 under Tito, we'll see what happens. But yeah, they're currently in a rain delay in Cincinnati. So we got that to look forward to, which is good, which means by the time that I get home, hopefully it will begin. By the way, our fan poll, sponsored by Caster Connection. Are you happy Sergei Bobrovsky won another Stanley Cup? Florida Panthers going back-to-back with the Lord Stanley last evening. Just smoking the Oilers.
Yeah, it's just something that's just the irony of a South Florida hockey team.
Just doesn't feel
going back-to-back.
And they're
the
so
Canadian
good.
team
They're
twice.
so good.
It's like they're fighting to live on the beach.
Yeah.
And so
they have no state income taxes and they can sign whoever they want. Too.
So we're going to win a championship back to back. So I got to respect it.
I do too. Austin and I were talking about this last night because I believe yesterday's fan poll was, who are you cheering for in Game 6 tonight, the Oilers or the Panthers? And Austin was saying, well, I don't really want to cheer for Bob to win a second cup. I'm like, I'm fine with Bob. The situation happened. He left. I'm okay. He gave you a Vezina. He gave you a couple of Vezinas, actually. Gave you great years of service here. He's one of the best players you've ever had in your franchise. Seth Jones, on the other hand, I don't know. I wasn't thrilled for him. And then, of course, Brad Marchand, being a guy who had lifted another Stanley Cup. But juxtapose that to one of the funniest bits that we've got going in sports is now it's been 32 years since a Canadian team has won a Stanley Cup. I mean, that's 32 years. And you lived up there. You know the hockey culture up there. It's crazy. For the fact that they have their game and they haven't won a cup in 3+ decades is crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's almost like you're like rooting for the Pacers so that like all those Canadian guys don't win an NBA championship. Yeah. You just want to keep dominating Canada. But yeah, it has to be very tough for Canadians who put their kids in skate. Like you're supposed to put them like a couple weeks after they start walking. At age 2, you put them in ice skates.
And they do it.
And they do. And
then you get a guy like Connor McDavid he needs to get a cup.
Yep.
He needs to get a cup at some point.
Yep. So it's tough, I mean, just to sit here and watch a South Florida team win it.
Yeah, it's an interesting juxtaposition. South Florida against Edmonton. You ever looked at how far Sunrise, Florida to Edmonton, Alberta is on a map away from each other? Just Google that. What do you think the drive is from Edmonton to Sunrise, Florida? How far do you think that is?
That is not the drive you would ever want to take.
No, that sounds like a pretty bad drive. Okay, just take a wild guess. The drive
at least 2 days.
Okay, the drive from Sunrise, Florida to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Any guesses? Do you have a guess? Hours.
I'll go with 27 hours.
All right, you're a little light. Nate?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's like at least 50.
Yeah, it's 44 hours and 16 minutes. It is a 2,992-mile drive.
That's a good week.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Anyways, congrats to Sergei Bobrovsky winning another Stanley Cup. He's got everything going for him, which is nice. Did you see former Buckeye J.C. Sheldon taking on the entire Indiana Fever team from last night? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was scrapping, man. Her and Caitlin Clark have hated each other since she was at Iowa and JC was here at Ohio State.
Yeah.
It was all over the place on social media for me today.
Yeah, because that's a real rivalry. Like I get the Angel Reese stuff, but this goes deep to like league play and probably AAU.
Totally.
Because geographically, these players cross paths in one of these auxiliary gyms in one of these high schools or one of these AAU facilities. So yeah, that runs deep.
Yeah, so I think JC got in Caitlin's business a little bit earlier on in the game, and then JC had a breakaway, and then Sophie Cunningham for the Fever just straight up intentional foul. And then JC got back up, shoved her, and then all hell was breaking loose in that game last night. It was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Here you go, JC. Stand up for yourself. She's not shying away from anybody. Watch her here at Ohio State. She's not scared of a single person out there. No way.
Yeah, I love it. And just the intensity. You talk about quickness and just you kind of forget how great of a player she was just because of the 1 year that she has to transition in the league. But just to see her, strapping up Caitlin is like, those games were tight when they played here.
Remember, we rushed the court here one time, and someone knocked over Caitlin Clark, and it made like international. It wasn't even national news; it was international news.
Yeah,
and it was a flop. She committed a flop.
Oh, and it's like the list of flops that she has behind that. You knew. This was the start of it.
Yeah, it was. Must have been actually the hatred probably predates that, but that was a good kicking off point.
Oh yeah,
to the continuation of that rivalry.
For sure.
I did see this as well from today. Carmen's Crew will defend the basketball tournament title this summer. It was announced yesterday, or actually today. It was today. Today is Wednesday. It was announced today that the Ohio State alumni team, which includes MVP, my guy, William Buford, Caleb Wesson, Keyshawn Woods, and Trevor Thompson, will compete in the Indianapolis Regional over at Hinkle, July 19th through the 22nd. So a month away from right now, they'll be playing in one of college basketball's best arena. They return to the basketball tournament with the $1 million champions from last summer, headlined by the 4 Buckeyes. They also returned a couple of other guys, but this year they are losing Jared Sullinger, Kyle Young, Andre Wesson, from the 2024 squad. So a little bit of movement right there out of the basketball team. Garmin's Crew.
How about that bump fade Jared hit? That was a big shot.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
A milli on the line. Cha-ching.
Give it to that guy. And the best part of
that feels like? That's got to feel pretty nice, doesn't it?
Well, the locker room part?
No, just the little bump back fade to win $1 million.
Well, yeah, that. And then also like just the actual, like you see people get the championship trophy.
Yeah.
But you see these guys get the live ACH transfer.
The instant transfer, just the tidal wave hitting your checking account.
That's a good way to celebrate a championship. You know, yeah. Like I like that.
I like the trophy. The trophy's fine, but this is a little bit nicer. Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, dinner's on you tonight. This is what I would say. And then I also did see this today. Former Ohio State cornerback Damon Arnett expected to sign with the Houston Texans. So a little redemption story there for Damon.
Yeah, and you saw this with Gary and Conley too.
Yeah, totally.
He was out for a while, and I think Damon Arnett was a big part of a character, makeup cleanup, and obviously, just battling, the image off the field. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty productive as a rookie, could play, make plays, and excited that he has his head back, on straight, and he's getting an opportunity down there with D'Amico Ryans and a lot of his Buckeye brothers that can keep him in line.
Absolutely, man. We didn't even get to the CJ Stroud story today, but a lot of hype around CJ. Maybe a down year, sophomore slump, whatever from CJ. Came on like a wrecking ball in his rookie year, but a lot of praise. One of the players in the Texans saying he will take us as far as we want to go.
So I officially only root for the Texans. So I'm super excited for this year.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Super excited for this year, and it was a bit bumpy. But if his sophomore slump is still making the playoffs, I'll take it.
Yeah, and you look at the kind of the state of that division as well. Like that's a gettable division.
Oh yeah,
AFC South, that's gettable. Colts are going through a little bit of an identity change. You got the Jags, who are coming off of a bad year, new head coach, new general manager as well. And then you've got the Titans with year 2 under Brian Callahan, right? So we'll see what they can do. Number 1. They just had the number 1 pick, Cam Ward.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a gettable division for CJ.
For a couple years, and for the future, yeah, for sure.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, you got to get it on those rookie deals. Yeah, you got to be competitive on those rookie deals.
You got to come out at AFC.
Devier, I had a great time with you for these last 2 hours. Let's do it again next Wednesday. You good with that?
I'll be here.
Everybody have an awesome evening. We get you down to the banks of the Ohio River in a rain delay where the Reds and the Twins are playing up next. Back in studio tomorrow with Pat Murphy of Bucknuts. Talk to you then. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan.
It's your lucky day because at Speedway, there's a $5,000 winner every single day. All you do is shop with Speedy Rewards. Then play the in-app game for a chance to win $5,000 in cash. So you could win $5K today, or the next day, or the next day, or the next... Okay, you get it. New daily cash winners only at Speedway. Are you next? No purchase necessary. Ends 1/6/26 USDC 16+. For official rules and free gameplay, go to 5k-a-day.com/rules.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. We can help ensure you'll have a reliable income stream in retirement, locking in gains and avoiding downturns in the market. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.